All right, let's get right into it. We often see heroes fight villains who are their physical match, but what happens when a hero's biggest philosophical opponent, the guy who's just an idea, a walking argument, suddenly becomes his perfect physical rival? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today, the insane transformation of Dr. Aerys Thorne. And this one line tells you everything you need to know. This isn't just trash talk. Thorne is looking at Vath-kon, and he's not seeing an enemy. No way. He's seeing a prophet, the living, breathing proof that his entire bleak worldview is actually right. So who exactly was this guy before everything went sideways? He wasn't some monster from another dimension or a metahuman with a grudge. He was just a man. And honestly, that's what makes his story so tragic. So picture this. Thorne, a brilliant physicist, hits rock bottom. And I mean rock bottom. He loses his career, his name, everything. And this complete personal collapse just breaks him. He ends up embracing this incredibly dark idea that life is just meaningless suffering. And then he sees Vath-kon, this alien being literally powered by nuclear decay. And for Thorne, it's like a sign from the heavens. It's the ultimate proof that his nihilistic worldview is the truth. And this is where you really see that mirror idea come to life. On the one hand, you've got Vath-kon, right? The Kryptonian, powered by nuclear waste, totally detached from humanity. And then you have Thorne. He's coming from a place of pure human desperation, but he's aiming for the exact same goal, a quote, final solution to suffering. Two totally different paths leading to the same terrifying conclusion. Thorne wasn't the kind of guy to just sit in a dark room and write poetry about how meaningless everything is. No, he was a physicist, a man of action. And his plan, well, it was something so horrifying, it could only be cooked up by a mind that had truly lost all hope. Yeah, and we're not talking about a simple bomb here. This was elegant in a really twisted way. The Event Horizon Protocol was designed for a slow, painful genocide. The plan was to just radiate the entire eastern seaboard. And in Thorne's mind, this wasn't an act of hate. He saw it as a mercy killing for millions. He truly believed that life was the disease and he had found the cure. And his plan was chillingly simple, really. Just 3 steps. Step 1, take his massive quantum flux capacitor and install it at a major nuclear facility. Step 2, use it to kick off a stable, never-ending nuclear reaction. And step 3, just sit back and let the radiation spread. Simple, clean, and absolutely terrifying in its logic. Okay, so this is where it all comes to a head. You've got the man, the machine, and the philosophy. But now all those pieces are about to collide, in just the right place, at just the right time, to create the perfect storm for something unexpected. And the location? Oh, the location is just perfectly poetic. Thorne doesn't just pick some random power plant. No, he sets up shop at the exact same nuclear facility where Vath-kon got his powers in the first place. It's like the ground zero for this kind of nuclear genesis. He's literally taking his weapon of mass destruction right into the hero's birthplace. So the final confrontation begins, and it's amazing because it doesn't start with punches. It starts with words. Thorne's arguments about how pointless everything is, they actually hit Vath-kon hard. They stun him for a second. That's how close their worldviews are. But, talk can only last so long. Vath-kon has to fight back, pulling out all the stops, even his bizarre ice-cold fire breath. And when Thorne sees he's losing, he plays his last card. He floods the entire room with raw radiation, which, ironically, is like throwing gasoline on a fire for Vath-kon. It just makes him stronger. And this is maybe the most important part. Thorne isn't controlling this from some safe room miles away. He's right there in the middle of it, just soaking in all that raw radiation he unleashed. Think about that. He is so committed to his belief in total collapse that he's literally willing to dissolve in it. And that decision, that complete dedication to his own destruction, basically signs him up for what comes next. So now we have all the ingredients, right? The man, the machine, the perfect radioactive location. But how does the switch actually get flipped? How does Thorne transform? Well, it all comes down to one last desperate move from Vath-kon. Vath-kon is totally out of options. The clock is ticking down to 0, so he does the one thing he probably shouldn't. He unleashes his most dangerous, most unstable power, a raw blast of kryptonite energy, but he doesn't aim it at Thorne. He aims it right at the heart of the machine, the quantum flux capacitor. Okay, and you have to understand what happens next. This isn't just a big boom. This is like matter and antimatter colliding. You've got Vathcon's blast, which is pure kryptonite energy, poison to him, and it smashes into the flux capacitor, which is full of the exact kind of nuclear energy that feeds him. So you have pro-Kryptonian energy and anti-Kryptonian energy slamming together. The results? A completely insane, violent feedback loop. So what comes blasting out of that capacitor isn't just a normal explosion. It's not just radiation. It's something brand new, a hybrid energy surge. It's this chaotic storm created by those two opposite forces being mashed together for one single terrifying instant. Okay, so let's recap the recipe for disaster here. 1. Vath-kon hits the machine with a kryptonite blast. 2. That anti-Kryptonian energy collides with the pro-Kryptonian fuel inside. And 3. Who's standing right in the middle of it all, already drenched in radiation? Dr. Aerys Thorne. He takes the full force of that bizarre, hybrid, transformative energy wave right to the face. All right, so the dust settles. The facility is a wreck. The Event Horizon Protocol is finished. It seems like the day is saved. But what crawls out of that rubble isn't the end of Thorne's story. It's the terrifying first chapter of a whole new one. Because Thorne isn't dead. He's not even a survivor, really. He's been remade, reborn, forged in the very energy he wanted to unleash on the world. All that talk about him being a philosophical mirror to Vath-kon, well, it's not a metaphor anymore. It's literal. And just look at how this plays out. His new powers aren't just random. They are dark, twisted reflections of Vathcon's abilities. So Vath-kon has nuclear vision that accelerates decay. Thorne gets mirrored gamma bursts. Vath-kon can shoot fission blasts. Thorne might be able to manipulate fission. It's like a corrupted copy, right down to getting his own version of that weird, ice-cold fire breath. And here's why this is such a brilliant twist. In that fight, Vath-kon made a choice. He rejected his old nihilism and fought for something more. But that philosophy, that darkness, it didn't just vanish. Instead, it found a new home. It now has a face, a body, and a power set to match Vath-kon's. Thorne has literally become the ghost of Vath-kon's past. It's like this quote says, "The destructive essence of Vath-kon's past self is extracted and given independent life." I mean, that's exactly it. It's as if all the worst parts of Vath-kon, all that despair he fought so hard to leave behind, were ripped out of him and given their own body. And that body is Dr. Aerys Thorne. So that leaves us with this one haunting question. Vath-kon didn't just create another bad guy. He created a living, breathing monument to his own worst impulses. The fight from now on isn't just about saving the city anymore. For Vath-kon, every battle against Thorne is a battle against himself. I mean, how do you even begin to fight the ghost of who you used to be?